Alright, so OverlayFS is a Linux kernel module that allows the system to combine several mount points into one, so that you can access all the files from each within one directory structure. It's often used by live USBs or other specialist applications. One use is having a read-only root file system and another partition overlaid with that, so to show the applications to write to a temporary file system. More resources are included in the final task, further reading, if you'd like to learn about OverlayFS and this exploit. I have a very rough overview of what OverlayFS is. So OverlayFS, about the vuln, the recently SD disclosure, recent like last year, released a proof of concept and a great explanation for an Ubuntu kernel exploit. This vulnerability is particularly serious as OverlayFS is a kernel module that is installed by default on Ubuntu 18.04 server. If the system is vulnerable, you can very easily escalate from any user to root, as long as you can run a binary. If there isn't a C compiler installed on the machine, you can compile the binary statically elsewhere and just copy the binary over. Okay. Should we read their blog? Let's see if that makes... It's a Ubuntu specific issue in the OverlayFS file system in the Linux kernel, where it did not properly validate the application of the file system capabilities with respect to user namespaces. A local attacker could use this to gain elevated privileges due to a patch carried in Ubuntu to allow unprivileged OverlayFS mounts. So they've got the advisory analysis. The exploit code. Okay, let's go back here. So the credential, let's start the box. It's going to take a minute anyway. Credentials for SSS is overlay, tryhackme123. Deploy the machine with the start machine button in the task and wait up to 2 minutes for the VM to boot. SSH into the machine with the credentials provided. Grab the source code for the exploit from SSD disclosure here. Save it as exploit C on the target machine. Cool. So let's set up a environment. So I'm going to set up a tryhackme document. Let's just go THM. So OverlayFS. So you need to go rob the exploit code. Just going to copy it. And save. I'm calling exploit.c, and it would help if you typed it in the right sodding box. Compile the exploit with GCC if you find it's difficult. Use the command to get in. So I'm just going to use the hint because I can't be bothered. So GCC output. Oh. Exploit C. Cool, so there's a compiled binary. Run the compiled exploit and get root. So let's see if we have SSH now. Overlay at 10.10.50.226. Password is try hack me 23. Cool. So we've got SSH, we've got our payload. Let's create another one. I'll do it from here actually. Let's just do 10. Python 3 web server. And I'll just curl. What's my IP actually? Ten dot 9.12.198 8080 exploit. Go down, curl. What do we get? Oh, it's not 8080, it's 800, 8000. That's better. So if we just let's make it executable. Just run it. So exploit. Who am I? Root. Then we need the flag in root. So cd/root cat flag.txt. And then for the reading, so if you want to know more about OverlayFS, here's the link. The read-only root file system with OverlayFS to allow applications to run normally. Arch Wiki's page on OverlayFS. If you want to know more about the specific CVE, got MITRE's entry and the POP code which we downloaded. Yeah, it was a very short room. Terminate that. Just that it doesn't validate the namespace and it's not going to show me exactly what I mean. It doesn't really matter. It's just a privilege escalation at the end of the day. Cool.